My friends will never let me live this down if I try and do this intro again, but I have no other options. What is going on, everyone? My name is Technology, and today... I give up. Anyway, today was the Nintendo Direct. The first one since last year. Feels weird saying that. Anyway, today we got a lot of news on different games, but the main one I wanted to talk about, at least for this video, was Pikmin 4. We actually got some gameplay footage, and I am, for one, very excited for what's to come. I've gathered a few screenshots of the different moments that happened in the trailer. I can't exactly play the video because, well, Nintendo will come after me with a lawsuit faster than the Flash can run. But with that being said, let's just try and avoid being sued by huge companies, at least for this video, and move on with what we were doing, shall we? Now to start off, we have our main Pikmin types returning, red, yellow, and blue, but this time we have a few new additions such as white Pikmin and purple Pikmin. Sadly, rock and wing Pikmin had to be discontinued, and sadly still no Bulbmin from Pikmin 2. May they rest in peace. But yeah, you can also see in the background these weird little pink rocks. I get the feeling that those may have to do with, I guess, the main goal of what the game shall bring this time around. But moving on with that, here we have something big. So as you can see in the background, there is a flower pot that has been broken, and covering it looks like a large pile of dirt with one stem growing out of it, which I'm going to assume is an obstacle that the Pikmin will have to help you with. Probably to get something like a data file, maybe. But anyway, here we have our main protagonist, which I'm going to assume they look like a cross between Brittany and Alf from the last game. Who knows what could have happened in those few years that they had been gone, but whatever happened, maybe they started a family or something, I don't know. Could have happened, but we'll have to see. Anyway, moving on with that, here we have the onion. It's a lot thicker than the last time I remember. I swear if one of you make a joke off of what I just said or quote me off of that, I'm going to scream. Moving on, the onion's design has changed a little because where the legs and propeller come out of are no longer, I guess, a color of black. They look more yellowish, and the onion's a lot bigger looking. You can also see those gems I talked about earlier surrounding that little circle area. I guess that's where the onion must land, I guess. Here's that dirt pile from before, and as I said, you would need a squad of maybe 10 to 20 Pikmin to pull it apart. You can't really see much in the background, well, anything visible anyway, apart from, well, a little stem in the background where you could probably get something like spicy spray. It's very vague, but you could see it. And here's an image of the dirt pile being destroyed. But anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, by the way, don't mind the noise in the background. My family's doing a few things. Anyway, another obstacle that will come up is Pikmin will have to build structures for you to climb over obstacles and stuff. Now here is a cool looking image. You can see a lot more of this backyardish area. You can see a house in the distance and a sakura tree in, well, the distance as well. You can see a lot more, I guess, of the nature of this playground. Let's see. There's a few mushrooms in the distance, some dandelions. What looks like a new type of enemy. I think this might be a new type of blowhog. Because considering we had the fiery, the watery, and the airy blowhogs from the last few games, I'm going to assume that might be a new type, or it could be a new type of enemy entirely. There's a bunch of tires in the background, which who knows what those were used for, but maybe you could find some stuff in them. But moving on. Treasure hunting has returned, and we must find treasures again for who knows what reason. Maybe Hocotate Freight went into debt again. Olimar can't catch a break, can he? Anyway, his boss might have gone into debt with loan sharks again, so we may need to find treasures, or find treasures to upgrade the ship again. Who knows what they're for. But you can see some binoculars being found right now. Okay, this was the part I was most excited for. The fact that we have a new type of Pikmin is amazing. This is the Ice Pikmin. Small, slippery, but also pretty strong when you consider what it can do. Don't know what happened to water or rock Pikmin, sorry, when they were this deep underground, but something must have happened for this to be created. But I'm all for it. It's pretty cool, and the concept's even cooler. If enough of them are eaten by a specific enemy, it will freeze them solid. They can still attack, but it looks like they're more of a defensive type of Pikmin rather than an offensive type. Plus, well, I'm doubting it's possible, but maybe the ice could be melted in some way. But here's another cool thing. Apparently, if enough ice Pikmin are thrown into water, the water will completely freeze. I don't know if it's a temporary thing or not, But that's pretty cool. It can help traverse different areas that are, filled with water. Here's one question I have, though. What happens if you pluck all those sprouts? Will it give you a time limit before the water, melts? Or, do you just drown? Do you just leave these guys there for eternity just to die? Who knows at this point. But moving on, we have a new companion apparently, and I did not see this coming, but this is the first monster in this game that doesn't want us dead somehow. It's kind of like how Yoshi has Poochie in Yoshi's Woolly World. But anyway, I digress. So as you'll see here in a moment, there we go. This dog can bash through nearly any type of, object that is either not completely indestructible or not too strong compared to itself, which is honestly a scary thought because this thing could probably bash through most monsters and deal a decent bit of damage. Maybe you could ride it into battle. This thing can also apparently carry off dead corpses of monsters that you've managed to defeat. But that's not the only thing I point out in this background. You can see in the very back, I don't know if you still have to collect fruits or not, but if you do, I can see a small pumpkin-looking fruit in the very background. Maybe you guys have to collect it for treasure or something, who knows. But anyway, moving on. He can also swim. He can carry you and your Pikmin on his back, and he can swim. This thing is literally a walking unit. And I don't think it... Okay, I doubt it could swim forever, but still. This thing's name is Oachi. Apparently this thing can track and hunt down castaways on this planet. And that's a new feature as well. On this planet, you'll find... Okay, well, as you can see on screen, the caves have returned as well, which is something I guess Pikmin fans will enjoy. But anyway, one of the newest mechanics that have come back is you'll be able to find castaways deep underground. I don't want to know how they got there. I don't want to know what dragged them under there. But the castaway we see in front of us kind of reminds me of Louie. I'm hoping we don't have to run into Louie again, because you all remember what happened the last few times. But now we're on to my favorite part of this game, the boss fights. And up next we have, well, as you can see on screen, Shaggy Longlegs makes a grand return. But he looks a bit more mangled than normal. This guy looks like he's running cybernetics through himself. His hair may have turned into wires or something, who knows. Not to mention that the Empress Bulblax and all of her children have returned. This is a scary thought to look at just because of the fact that you all remember what happened in Pikmin 2. This thing will probably squash your entire army and your little dog too. So, I'd suggest moving out of the way. And finally, as I've mentioned, the caves have returned, and instead of using a geyser to get back up, I'm going to assume you use that small air vent that's underneath them. Makes kind of sense. A geyser really wouldn't push you that high, but an air vent that's for some reason buried this deep underground would. Who knows what the heck was down here that they buried the air vent in. And you can see some of the yellow, red, and ice Pikmin floating up as well. The final image that I'm going to show you, at least for now, is an image of, well, the ground as you are taking off. I had one more image to show you guys, but I refused to show it to you because of how creepy it was, but hey, I'll explain it in a minute. You can see the ground from up here, the onion still follows you, your ship is a lot smaller, but there's a ground team on the ground now. And that symbol on the back of your ship, if you could see it well enough, is Hogatate Freight, which kind of means that they set up shop, I guess. They set up shop around here looking for treasure and getting readings of the planet. So, what does this mean for us in turn? Well, that's a good question. So far what we've seen is there's a new Pikmin type, there are a few new bosses, which I'm kind of wondering what the final boss could be, because for the past few games it's been different. For Pikmin 1, we had the Emperor Bulblax. For Pikmin 2, he came back, but he was a lot weaker. In fact, you could practically one-shot him. But instead of him as the final boss, we had something called the Titan Dweevil. That large monstrosity was also a broken boss fight. For Pikmin 3, we had... Oh yeah, we had that pile of golden jelly as the boss fight. That thing wasn't exactly fun to fight, but it was interesting as it utilized every single power from the Pikmin to defeat. But that begs the question, what could the final boss of this game be? It could be a Bulborb, it could be a member of the Grubdog family, or it could be something completely different. Who knows what it could be? But anyway, besides that, there are a few theories I have. The first would be, Hogatate Freight probably fell into debt again, which is why we're on the planet finding treasures. Or, something happened on PNF 404 again, so we need to go back. Maybe seismic readings, some kind of anomaly of an event, something like that must have happened to get us dragged back there, and we have to investigate. I'm hoping we get to take that dog with us on our trip home, though. But besides that, there's another question that I wonder. Olimar isn't in this. Louis might be in this. And the rest of the team, well, hopefully we're in contact with them anyway. The question is, how are we exactly going to figure out where we are and what we're looking for when the people on there are mostly just random crew members from Huckatate Freight? They'll probably give us a heads up when we get there or something like that. What else is a good thing to ask? Ooh. So the mechanics of freezing water. My question is, how long can it remain frozen for? Is it a permanent thing until you pluck the Pikmin out, or does it give you like a time limit? And that begs the question as well, if you can freeze water, how do you unfreeze it if you want to? And if you unfreeze it, does it give you a time limit before the ice thaws? More questions to be, I guess, pondered over. There are a few more questions I could have, but I'll leave you guys to figure out what they are and figure out the answers to them. Come up with your own theories in the comment sections. What was it normal YouTubers say right about now? Oh. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that jazz. Leave your comments below on theories you have, I guess, or questions you have, and I'll see if I can answer them. Or at least expand on them. What else? Oh yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. See ya! Are we done?